You told them to click that link?
Yeah. They said I have to invite them up, but I don't see them. Wait, let me see.
Tell them to click that link.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So, all right. Cool.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Let me see if I can turn it up. I can't see you now. Where'd you? I can't see where you went. Oh, there you go.
All right. And I'm trying to see. These technical issues. Like,
right? What is going on with that?
I know, man. Okay. See, we're all supposed to be on the screen at the same time, I think.
Yeah, because now I can only see me, and that's weird.
I don't know what's going on with this thing. No,
Well, it definitely made it a good icebreaker because it's like, okay, what the heck is going on? Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Yes.
We figured it out. Yeah, so my camera did not like it. I had to open it up in a whole web browser, and there was a pop-up screen to allow my camera to operate, and it wasn't showing just by clicking the link. So I had to figure that out. So
okay.
We got it together though.
We
How
are
you
here,
doing,
ladies
brother?
and gentlemen. We are here. Are we doing readings? We might get some readings. Maybe a little later on. We'll see. We'll see. But
Okay.
yes, but welcome, ladies and gentlemen. These technical delays out here in these streets. We had to call the roadside assistance to come and change the tires so we could get here. But we are here. We are. You know who I am. My name is Mr. Silverman 504, and I'm going to let my amazing guest introduce herself.
Hi, my name is La T from Taresandwheat Tarot Show, and you know how I do. You know, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get with this right here. So, yeah, I'm a channeled messenger and a reader, and I message with the Most High God, the infinite intelligence, and the breath of life, and we just read creation, essentially. So, in short, pretty much.
So how is your like your awakening, your spiritual journey going? Well, let's just say this year.
Well, been on the journey for all of my life, basically always been the eye duckling, the black sheep kind of thing. And went through a dark night of the soul, really hard period where everything just kind of cracked open. So you know how certain tests come into your life to teach you these incredibly hard lessons, and a lot of it was really to develop me into the person that I am, you know what I mean, to really to show me and reveal to me what my gifts were, and how to operate in them. Basically, put me in service. Yeah.
Right. And just for the folks keeping score at home, one thing about your journey, you might wonder about how do I learn about my gifts and all this stuff like that. Your gifts are going to open as you continue on your journey. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I'm just agreeing. Yeah.
Yeah, because some people and your journey and your gifts are going to look they're going to look and feel different from I know we like to paste words on them, like I don't know, psychic, clairvoyant, medium, and this and that, but I feel like I feel like the waters run deeper, so to speak.
Yeah.
I really do feel like the waters run deeper. I feel like do you have a message for the people? Just I feel like you do have a message, because I know you always got a message.
Well, I guess my message would be more along the lines that something similar to what you said today. Everybody's journey is different, you know what I mean? And we are all, pixels of creation, of creation itself, the source itself. And nobody's journey is going to look the same. Everybody's gifts are going to be unique to them. The depth and intensity of the gift will be different, but everyone has intuition. Everyone has a sense of knowingness. I believe that we all can tap into those Akashic records, into that the intelligence of creation itself. But how in tune you are and how in depth you can get, I think is just very individual. You know what I mean? Some people have a very strong gift and a very strong connection, and some people are just highly intuitive. It's going to be, to everyone on their own path, I think. Yeah.
Right. I'd say that some does everybody have intuition? Yes. Do some people choose to ignore that? Yes, a lot of people do. Some people call it their gut, or the voice of God, or however you want to naturally spin that. But like you said, the gifts are. I always say the gifts are given to the gift. That's one of my that's one of my sayings, and it's it's like that what's that Bible verse? Many are called, but many are called, but few are chosen. So as we stand here, as we move forward into just life, this is kind of like the new faces of your spiritual guides, the gurus, are so to speak, and this is this is going to be I say the supernatural is the supernatural to us, I would say, is and supernatural to us is natural. It's like something that you walk around with that beautiful glow. It's just something, it's just something that you have, and a lot of it, you either, a lot of it you either have or you don't, because a lot of it, a lot of these things that we have, they're gifts, and we have to appreciate what we have, and we have to naturally respect it.
Yeah. And like you've mentioned before, this journey it's not all peaches and cream. Oftentimes you grow up flying in between realms, or in between planes, not always quite not with the crowd of mainstream people, feeling a little bit different. My frequency was always different from other people, and sometimes I was difficult finding a way to relate in a world where you just, see things different, you perceive things different. I've always been able to see through the veil. So it makes it a challenge to kind of I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? Like socialize
Yeah.
with
Did,
people who are not on that frequency.
yeah,
Yeah.
people would always, like people would always tell me, hey, there's just something about you there. That there's something about you that makes you stand out in the crowd, so
Hmm.
to speak. You have your own vibe. You have you have your own aura, and some, for me, it I mean, it took a while for me to embrace who I naturally was, because with people are always quick to point these things out, and it would, of course, when you're a little younger, and people say, maybe in your feelings, and you don't have your skin isn't as thick, and you're not in tune to your true power, and how you're generationally chosen. These things don't come to mind when you're maybe in your 20s and your teens, and all of that stuff, because you're still growing and you're still learning, but now you get to that point where it's like, you become the Neo in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you start to dodge bullets and fly, and you can see the code where
Hmm.
nobody else can really see it, and that
Yes.
yeah, like you said, you said the term, when you said the term, black sheep, and and things like that. It's just it's always something that's going to set you apart. But these things help to naturally enhance you, and like yourself,
Mhm.
you become like this. You become this teacher. So did you ever think that you would be, out here on social media, like, giving readings?
Absolutely not. I literally had no social media except for like a business like social media page for networking and stuff in the 9 to 5 world. And that was it until August of 22. Like literally. So my YouTube channel, my Facebook, everything for the show is very young as of August. So I think we're just at like 6 months maybe.
Mhm.
And yeah, I never had a desire to be on social media at all. As a matter of fact, it was too loud, too much energy, which is um, my hesitancy in going on TikTok, as you have suggested. But it's so much noise, and it really disrupts my frequency, like to remain focused and, in tune with what I'm doing. It feels like it's just so much coming at me. Yeah, I pick up that energy, and it just does something to me, man. I don't know.
Right, and you learn how to, what, just like you said, like going live. It's like you're giving a lot, of yourself, because you're giving knowledge, even if it's just for one person out there,
Yeah.
that just takes it in. Or maybe, who knows, somebody may see this video, I don't know, 10, 20, 100 years from now,
Yeah.
and say, man, they were, they'll look at people like us, and they'll say, like, man, they were ahead of their time. They really were, because what they were on, people, it's like, I just feel like in the future, people are really, really going to be more heightened in their senses and their abilities, especially folks that look like us. Not, I'm not sure how the world is going to be shaped, and how people are going to intermingle, 100 or 1,000 years from now. But I just feel like people are going to be more enlightened, I'll say.
Yeah, and I mean, that's in normal everyday life. I mean, when I went pescatarian, stopped eating meat like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, it's like, well, just, it's not that big of a deal. And we were talking about the industrial food complex and what's going on with the supply chain, and how, our produce is being modified and all kinds of stuff. And it was like, oh, it's not a big deal. Now everybody is thinking more about that. Like, oh, the food isn't real. Well, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's always that picking up on things early, hence not resonating with people in the general population. Nobody's like, why are you taking things so serious? Or that's, that's just crazy talk. But you always crazy until it turns out that you're correct. So, yeah.
Right. There's always like the Tom Pryor or the person sitting on the side of the road with the sign that says, "Repent now, at the end of the year." And then everybody wakes up and it's like the rapture's happened. And you're like, well, where are all of those people at that was saying blah blah blah? Where they going now?
They're gone.
Right. They continue in their journey. They good. Now, y'all.
We got on the boat.
I would say this, not for this year and moving forward, that I always say, like, people like us and maybe people who watch this, if you're in the know, you're good. I'm not saying life is going to be perfect, but you have more stability around you. You have more power around you. You're able to speak and feel, and the greatness that's coming. You can kind of see the things that are unfolding. Like if you were naturally, if you were on your journey, you're on a job, and on that job, you're like, something feels different. I feel like this is coming to an end soon, because I don't feel the same about this job career that I did maybe a week or a few months ago. So it's like you have a sense for what is coming, and you have a sense for like what is beyond, so to speak.
Oh yeah, you definitely get a heads up on pretty much everything. Spirit told me, move your money, you know what I mean? Pull out a certain stocks and such. So, okay, I did. And then I was able to avoid some losses. But getting to a point where you can learn to trust what's being said to you and make those decisions is a road to deepen the confidence in what's being told to you, and being able to discern who's speaking to you. For me, I'm always surrounded by different energies. And sometimes I go through those Job syndromes. I've been talking about that lately, where I've asked the Father to seal my space and seal my channel and push things out. But sometimes those things are allowed to roam in your area, in your environment, to teach you, to test you, to call you to another level, to deepen your trust and your stability, you know what I mean, to just enhance you and grow you. And like the spirit or the lesson of Job, staying faithful throughout the test, despite those energies being allowed to afflict him, he was able to come out on the other side and still be blessed and favored. And I feel like that is something that I have been going through of late, and working in the spirit to figure out, okay, what is it that is trying to teach me? What am I being opened up to? Something new must be coming in. Spirit is saying, yes, something new is coming in. So I anticipate either a new gift or just an enhancement of something that has already been given on to me.
Yeah. You're definitely on the right track. You're definitely it's gonna really pay out for you big time. So you're, especially like social media, all that stuff. It's like the message is, start getting your merchandise and all of that stuff together now. Like if you wanna, your brand is gonna continue to grow. Because of your faithfulness is what's going on, Miss Lane? Your faithfulness is helping me. I see you going live, and I'm like, at least I can do some short videos, even if I don't feel like going live today. Put them on Facebook or I don't know. It. I mean, this the social media thing. It takes energy. It does, but the persistence. Somebody said, oh, they said the audio. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Is that better? Oh, okay. I think it's. I understand what they're saying. Let me see. Let me grab my headphones real quick. Let me see. Okay, is that better?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, they were saying like they were saying that the audio was a little choppy. But yeah, but anyway,
I have an earphone too if I should. Oh, well, I don't want to figure out how to mess it up and all that stuff. So I'm going to
yeah,
stay
it took
like
us
this.
a little while to get here.
Try to turn on the Bluetooth and mess everything up. Like,
I know, right? We gotta like, man, well, you remember that episode of Martin when he went to the DMV and they told him like, hey man, you gotta go start from scratch. And he said, where's scratch at? And then the people were waving at him, waving from the back of the line.
I have to tell you, you made a mention of The Last Dragon, and I was cracking up because I literally just talked about Leroy when he was talking about you got the glow. I almost passed out of my chair. Like, did he not just say that? Just did that.
Yeah, because I just saw that. I just saw him. I think his name was Tide Mock or something like that. I saw him on. I think I saw him on Clubhouse last week or something like that. So that's why I thought about the Last Dragon and having that, and having that glow and having that inner power come out, But a lot of a lot of your gifts, honestly, a lot of your gifts are already there, but they start to come out the more you believe, and the more you become purposeful in your journey and in your walk, because you start to feel different, you start to perceive things differently, and you just start to and you also start to move differently, as well. So it's it's a lot. Is it, like you said, it's not, all sunshine, waking up 1, 2 in the morning, 3, 4 nights back to back, it gets a little old, so but the important thing is that you do have a greater understanding, and it's almost like your guides become like your spiritual Google, in a sense. If you need to know something, you can ask.
I ask.
Right. Don't be afraid to, don't be afraid to ask them, because they I was telling somebody they know best. They they really, really, really and truly know best. So, it's like this. I'll just throw this moon card out there. So the moon card, yeah.
Oh, the moon card.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So you're covered. Just as the moon is saying that you're covered. It's also speaking about a new phase. A new phase coming into your life very, 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 very soon. So, where you were naturally, and whoever vibes with this message, where you were questioning a lot of things, a lot of a lot of what you were questioning, those things are going to be answered, and you're going to get a better understanding of who you are and naturally where you're going, as you as you continue to move forward. So,
That's awesome, because that's exactly what I was feeling with that whole Job syndrome, like not having any revelation as to why this is, my scenario at the moment. And I can see it may be hidden and not yet revealed quite yet, but something different, something is coming. And I definitely feel that energy. I definitely feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like somebody told me, like the end of my 2023 is gonna look vastly different from the end of my 2022. You know, and I'm like, you know, I'm very grateful for that. You know, because there are places in our life that we are inevitably trying to get to. You know, we weren't put down here to struggle. You know, we weren't put down here to not naturally understand, you know, and just like your mind now is very much so more enlightened, you know, like I would. I mean, of course, we're gonna question stuff. That's just our human nature, you know.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. But you know, but remember, we are like these spiritual beings having this human existence. So but you know, how do you feel about about naturally your journey and how everything is unfolding for you, how you're going through this metamorphosis period and becoming like this beautiful butterfly.
Wow. It's something that I one would have never thought that it would be this profound, right? So of course you grow up and I've always had a knowingness, but never to the extent of when I said, I am your willing and surrendered vessel, please use me as a messenger to deliver a message onto self that would edify self, but also onto your wheat field so that they too may be edified. Let us unite over that so that we can serve that edification up onto the source and to our most high God, that I would be used in this way. You know what I mean? Like, to have the ability to scribe, to receive the downloads, to hear and sit in the spirit in such a way, and deliver messages that have not only changed me profoundly, but also others who've given me the feedback, and them being able to feel that energy. You know what I mean? Or even see things again, touching on telekinesis, where I can see the energy and the breath of life actually move things in my area, and then to see it played back on camera, on film, like, whoa, like I can literally see that happening, not just me feel it in my space, but it's visible to others, has been incredible. I'll tell you though, my daughter almost I think she called the crazy people on me though. I think she wanted to see if I needed to be put in a straitjacket. Like, what is going on with mom? But they have gotten used to it. Like, you know, the fact that I speak in the spirit all the time, and this is just a part of normal life now. But I never thought it would be that profound to literally like do things like skate. You roller skate in the spirit, and if the spirit says I don't want to go that way, I'm gonna go this way, then I can, you know, be turned in a whole different direction. So I've never imagined it would be that profound.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait till wait till you get that gift of tongues and you start, like you start speaking in tongues, and
Wow.
it's a whole nother man. Oh oh my goodness, it's
Well, like you
it's
mentioned,
different.
to be able to travel timelines, we talked about that, but to be able to speak to yourself in a different timeline, now that is definitely
Yeah,
significant.
no, I was thinking about, because there was a movie where a guy, I haven't seen it yet, but a guy, he was like, it was like time heist or something like that, I think it was, where he could like speak to himself in the future and get all this information and use it in the present. I was like, man, that would be, man, I'm sure we could do that though. Like if we really focus, and you would have to, um think you would have to use your, like if you just sit down and meditate, you would have to go through your higher self, so to speak. And once you're really grounded, then you could like break the time barrier. I know this may, for
Mhm.
those out there, it may sound a little, but
Out
hey,
there.
it's,
Mhm.
it's, I know it sounds like they're talking about science fiction. I mean, people, there are people out there that could do some amazing things, and on their spiritual journey, and a lot of people, haven't actually come forward yet, because they're still, they're like, maybe they feel like, like the black sheep, but they feel like this isn't normal. They feel like the people in the comic books, like the X-Men, like, if people really knew, they wouldn't, my life would just be the same again.
Yeah, we were talking about the mere exposure effect, where people are concerned about how exposure to what can really happen in mainstream social constructs, with them personally, but out in the mainstream, socially, it they can be shunned and set aside, you know what I mean, and really ostracized. And again, like my kiddo, like something's wrong with mom. We've never seen her in this capacity. We've never known her in this capacity, and it's very different. But for those who do study deeply, you think about what Buddhist monks can do in terms of balancing on an index finger or breaking glass and using energy. People who have been in deep meditative practice for that discipline for a very long time, and what we can actually do. And yeah, it's not far-fetched at all. It's just different for what we experience, especially in Western society and Western culture.
Right. There are people who can actually, literally talk to animals.
Levitate.
Feel
Yeah.
feel their energy. There are people who can, look at the, look at the clouds, and tell you what's gonna, like tell you about the weather, tell you about your future, the past, and one thing, I would say on the spiritual journey is go into nature. You know, the water, the sun, the wind, the ground. People say the spirit of the earth. Maybe Mother Gaia, whatever you wanna name her. But it's very powerful. You see all of these things happening around the world, these earthquakes, and all of these things like that. Man, the earth is tired.
Yeah.
Like the earth
Yeah.
is the earth is the earth is very, 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 very tired. And the earth got a chance to rest in a little bit 2020, but once everything opened back up, it's just kind of like back to it was kind of like back to business as usual. But we are, we were naturally the protectors and guardians of the earth, and it's so much has shifted. But I'm glad that we are. Um, we the earth needs us as we need her, as we need God, and as we need our answers. You don't think that God has just been sitting down watching all of this stuff and just be like, oh, all right, I'm just let all this slide. Y'all good down there. It's
Right.
listen. Um, if uh if you believe, if if you believe in God, really start to ask for that spirit of discernment. Like to ask for the Holy Ghost, talk to Jesus, your angel guide, because when I mean, no, it says in the Bible, no man knoweth the time nor the hour. Only God knows that. Jesus doesn't know that. But I'll just say that if you do believe in God, stay close to the Most High. One thing along this journey is that I used to go to church a lot, but when I kind of stopped going to church, my belief in God heightened, because the one-on-one connection, like you so grow within who you are, and Him. You really and truly know God by His word. And that's amazing.
I so agree. My paternal grandparents, both of them were ministers, and we had a family church and everything. So we grew up in the church, and you wasn't going to visit Graham without going to church. If you didn't bring a dress, you was gonna wear one of her dresses to church. It was, there was very much that. And all the way into young adulthood until I had to be like about 30, I believe, and I'm aging myself, but whatever, And, yeah, and I went on a journey to discover more. And as you really get into the Christian Bible that I cut my teeth on, and you study deeply, you start to notice things that are missing. And that was the first thing that really stirred me on to find more. It was, we talked about the book of wars that are not in the Bible. So it's like, well, if you speak about this book, then where is it? And to go find the missing information, to buy the missing books and then the Gnostic Gospels, and just kind of expanding out from there to encompass so much more. The more questions that were answered, the more questions came in. And it eventually led me away from religion as an institution and just spirituality itself as a lifestyle, and being in touch with the spirit and having that one-on-one personal relationship, like what we would consider back to that Adam walk, where man and God walked together intimately, and I could go to the Father for all things, for every answer, every conversation, like to make it my first and foremost friend, for me was like phenomenal. So to say that in short is, the source for me is everything. I can, every counselor, every comfort, every provision, every protection, it is all there. And so that is where, my relationship is at.
Yeah, and that's beautiful, and that's beautifully said. And everybody out there. I was telling somebody earlier. Everybody. Do you have to be religious to be? And I feel like this is a good question. But do you have to be religious to have a spiritual awakening or a spiritual journey? You don't. You don't. Some of us just. Some of us just grew up in the church. And that's just naturally what it was. But for me, I understood that the church, I don't personally have anything against the church. I don't. So, some people still go to church, and that's what they're going to continue to do. I can still watch a sermon, and I can learn something, and I can feel the message and all of that. But I don't need to wait now to Sunday to talk to God or to be in my spiritual awareness, every day. It's just like when you wake up and you put on, your whatever it is you're putting on for the day, you're going out the door. It's like, so it's always with you. That's basically what I want to say.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's super fun. You would be surprised what you get back when I wake up, and speak to the spirits. Good day, and we have our board meeting. You know what I mean? Activate. You have these spirits with you, call them into action, right? And truly, have them come out before you and lead you through that day. You'll be surprised how your energy is different, how much calmer you are, more peaceful when you recognize you have a built-in counselor. You have a built-in, head of facilities. You have a built-in security team. Like, you have spirits that are there to protect you. Asking your spirit of joy, what is it that you want to do today? Like, what's on the menu? What do you want for breakfast? What do you want to wear? What do you want to smell like? And it will answer you. You know what I mean? I've made food that I've never cooked before simply because I asked, what does the spirit want to eat? It works.
And one beautiful thing is that you're always, and it's not that, we're just teachers and facilitators. We're also students, and the beautiful thing is that, for me and I know for you, we're always learning, we're always learning, and, we're always going to grow. I'm getting national platforms. I don't know, you can just put that in your spirit, but yeah,
I will show you my card. It's still sitting on the table. 777. You see it says teacher student on there?
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what you just said. So that's funny.
There are no coincidences out here, folks. It all happens. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are talking about a national platform, and they are talking about they are talking about center stage, and they're saying how you're going to yes, they're saying how you're going to write this trilogy of books uh for for changing, I said, like changing, well, for the believers and changing those who, for the believers and those who for those who are curious, so to speak, because there it feels like there are a lot of people. I was watching this commercial keeps popping up, and it's like this guy is on the fence, and he's like, he wants to get either maybe trying to get an iPhone or something, but he's like, I'm thinking about staying with I have my Android, but I want to go over here to the Apple. But and the lady kept saying, well, you can't stay on the fence. You got to make a decision. And that's the thing, people talk about free will and all of that stuff. No matter what you're into, if you're into, if you're into Christianity, or if you're into an African traditional religion, but whatever it is that you believe in, it's always said that there are many paths to enlightenment. And one thing about, I feel, spirituality, we take prayer and implement meditation and and deep breathing, that things that they may not necessarily teach in church. It's like in the Bible says Jesus fasted for, was it 40 days, 40 nights, I think.
Mm-hmm. 40 days. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So even he did it. Once upon a time. But yeah. So it's just that path, and it is layered, and you're going to, a lot of everything that you need is already, it's already naturally inside of you. Of course, you're going to meet people that are going to help you, that may come through for a week, a month, or 2 months. But what I've learned is that let them come in, learn that lesson, and when it's time for them to go, they go. And somebody else comes in, saying, well, maybe your ancestors. A new ancestor may pop in. A new angel guide may pop in. And so it's continuous. That's basically what I'm saying.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I receive, and I feel like I'm a magnet for energies that require healing. You know what I mean? Like most of the people that come into my life, they come in and then they get nourishment, and then they leave. They don't stay. So I definitely feel that cycling of people and energies in and out. So that's funny that you say that. Well, not funny. It's just affirmation. What I
Right.
experienced in my life. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
No. Oh no, I was just gonna say, I have had the vision of a platform, and I guess that's why I had to start to speak out in some sort of way on social media, because the rhythm, how you get the beating and something just kind of knocking at you, and you just have to it like keep poking you and poking you and poking you until you do something with it. So that was what was going on, and it just like forced me to get out there and to try. And so one step at a time, I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about it. It's one never be in a hurry, because one foot in front of the other. One step by step, day by day. And so you're going to get there time and time and time again. Until you come to the point where you feel like, hey, this is, I'm good, but this is I look at it as a lifetime, just a lifetime and lifelong journey. And, and I just continue to, I continue to move, and for me, I've been called many things, but not bad. But like they say, it's not what they call you, but it's what
What
you.
you answer to.
Yeah, it's not what they call you, but it's what I like to use the term spiritually gifted. So now, and I'll just leave it at that.
Say that again. I didn't hear that one.
Oh no, I just like to use the term spiritually gifted.
Yeah.
And I'll just because um it's because I always tell people we have gifts that we don't have names for, and that's just that's just what we're how do you tell somebody, like if you want to read somebody, like, well, how do how would you explain it? Well, I've been time and space, and it's like, I mean, what do like, it's just like you're I know we are facilitators. For me, I try to stay humble with it though.
Yeah, I mean, I've struggled with that too, and even in terms of choosing to do personal readings, I've done a few, but not very many. I do get, of course, the channel messages, and we deliver the message, but to sit and read people, I don't know. I've done it and I've had a good reception, and people definitely give me the affirmation that, the spirit is speaking truthfully and that they are receiving the message. I guess it's the connective pool that I feel. I feel like I'm almost conjoined in the energy, and I can feel that emotion, you know what I mean? And it's almost going on that empathic journey with them, and sitting in that space, and that energy again can be really, really heavy, and to disconnect from that, then I feel drained and sapped, and the energy sticks with me and remains almost like if you stepped in energetic gum, like it's stuck to me for a while. And yeah, it can be a ride. So I haven't really decided what to do with that quite yet.
Yeah. What I do is that I take my energy back. Even though they have the information, but I take my energy back and I send them their energy. It helps a whole lot for you to to clear all of that out of your aura, because you don't want to be holding on. You know what I mean? Like you can, you're going to start to be able to have more discernment in people, and know how deep to go. That's why, for a reading, prophetic, or whatever you want to call it, when people come, like, okay, what are we focusing on? So kind of how you go. And with that, sometimes it can, it can go all over the place. You never know how it's going to. That's one thing we don't naturally control the information. People say, well, it comes from source, or however you want to look at that, but it I'll just say it comes from, for me, I always say it comes from a divine place. But you're going to you're going to get there where you're able to where you're able to kind of flow with the energy a whole lot more. Now it kind of feels like you're immersing yourself in it fully, but you're going to be able to like carry an umbrella with you, and those downpours, so you're going to be able to you're going to be able to control it. You can practice with, like, can you, like, when you look at somebody's picture and just like start to draw the information out. It's almost like, it's almost like if you're squeezing, like if you're squeezing this bottle, do you want to squeeze it all the way, or do you just want to kind of wring it out like a sponge and let it form back to where it was. But you're going to really going to be able to handle it masterfully. That's why they have you now on this level. But You know, they say don't get comfortable because you're saying, you know, this is just for the short run, man. And you know, like the the next like 3 months or so, you know, you're really going to be getting out there. Like more people are going to be and more people are going to be reaching out to you. And
Wow. Well, definitely we'll start eating my Wheaties now. Yeah. Yeah, man, I can only say that it's been a really, really crazy ride. And like you said, it's taken off very fast. And the growth and the support and the reception that I've received is amazing. I have had some really nasty, not so nice people, you know, people who just can't bring all the pieces together. You know what I mean? I see creation as a whole entity, you know, that the Father has called. We're all pixelated pieces, and not everybody can bring together the whole. You know what I mean? And pull back up and see from that perspective. And so they say some pretty nasty stuff, but I'm developing the ability to not be so sensitive to their comments. Like I can, it's like, okay, well,
right,
that's your belief, and that's okay. I accept you for how you believe. This is not your space, so you move around. And we had to come up with a very nice disclaimer to let people know what it is, because you might not want to sit in my space. I might say something that piss you off a little bit or challenge your belief system, but I mean, if you want to listen, then we can have the conversation.
there you
So,
go.
and
You
that's
know,
what it's about.
right, and I don't, you know, like I always, I may not believe everything you believe, and you may not believe everything I believe in. But if you hear something that you know that that resonates, great. If not, cool. But you know, the block game is very strong with me. The block game is, you know, I'll block, you know, with this technology and stuff, man, I'll block people so quick. But you know, you got to understand who you're going up against because you know, we have some very powerful ancestors that do not play, you know, and it's not me. I can forget about it. But, you know, my ancestors may be a little petty, so you know, like my ancestors told me this, and they said if anybody has a issue of what you're doing or where you're going, you tell them to come talk with us. And I would be disciplined. You don't want to have that conversation, you know, because that is a fight and a battle you would not win. I guarantee you that you will not
Mhm.
win. But yeah, but you
That's,
know,
no, I was
boy,
gonna say I feel the same way. If the Most High hired you, then who gonna fire you? I mean, because you
that
just got to go take it up with my Maker. That's it. That's all I can
part,
tell you.
right, that part. You know, you can, you know, they said with the no weapon. You know, they said some other preacher once said the weapon can be formed. They can form it, but you know, the Bible speaks about one angel. Um, I think it was 185,000, something like that, 145, something like that. But it was a large number. One angel just wiped out a whole. You know, I'll tell you the story. I don't think I told you the story, but when I saw, when I saw that I can remember my first angel that I saw, and I was still doing massage therapy, and there was a couple session. And the lady, she was like a Reiki healer, and she was like praying over the guy or the lady. Anyway, so the room was dimly lit. So you know, I look up, and it's this big, like 8, 9 feet tall angel, just standing there. You know what I mean? And I mean, at the time, it was like 2000, like 2014, and I wasn't really, I wasn't as deep into my spiritual walk as I am now, you know, because, you know, I think back, oh man, I wasn't gonna do like that name in the Bible, like wrestle with the angel like until the morning. And, you know, I'm not gonna release you until you bless me. Like I wasn't gonna try that because I'm not crazy. That is, you know, as bad as, you know, with the things that we can do, just to see that at that point, I knew like things have changed. Well, from that point to now, but just from that point, I was like, yeah, it's about to get real, man. Yeah, that's like real. It's about to get real. And then when you start to really open up and you start to see stuff out of the corner of your eyes, and you're like, did I just
right here in front of my face, like, hello.
yeah, like I was in here one day. It was broad daylight, and one of my ancestors, I believe, it was, yeah, and it was like this shimmering like light just came and sat right next to me on the sofa. Seriously, and I'm like, this is just, it's like, these things these things these are just like conversations that make it kind of relevant, but that you don't have in like normal society. It's like, oh, hey, guess what? My great great great, whoever came to visit me in my dream the other night, and we talked about this and this and this and that, and it man, it's real, folks. It is
Very real.
yeah, it is real. These out of body experiences, traveling, and these other realms, and the multiverse, and these like these little kids now, you look at somebody, how we say like they've been here before, like these little kids are on a whole nother vibe, and like they really help to bring it out of me. Because sometimes, how your mind reads, whatever, but these kids are on something different, man. They're on something different.
Oh, right on the nose. I literally said that in today's daily episode, like where we say, like, that baby done been here before. That baby done been here before. Like, I am not a new creation. I am recreated. You know what I mean? I've
Like the whole
lived
little
many lifetimes. And after so long, because my birth number is actually, I am a master 33. And so when you have that number in your birth chart, not only does it speak to you being here multiple times, but getting to that master teacher type of situation. And I feel like my walk had been accelerated over the last 2 to 3 years to put me in position to do some of the things that I'm doing, like almost like I had to catch up. If you've been sleep out in the world for a while and haven't been digging into your intuition and kind of shoving that part aside and occupy with life, sometimes it takes those events to sit you down and put you in a position where you have to dig deep into your spirit space in order to persevere for things to kind of take off. And that's what happened for me. Like a lot of, and I see that for a lot of people who are going through those rough situations and have gifts. It's like, I can't imagine like why I've been going through this certain thing, or it's been so tough for me these last couple of years. Yeah, because you're going through a whole process of being cracked open. Like you mentioned, the plane and where we are in positioning and in the universe itself in terms of the precession of the equinox and a whole bunch of other things, energies in the plane coming in, and that my spirit says dispatched. We talked about that earlier today. So it's going to be more teachers coming to the present to help guide people and help give them comfort and kind of clue them in on what's happening, because we are going through a shift right now. And a lot of people have to be accelerated to be put in position in order to teach, in order to help. That's why we're here.
Right, and we, as we go live every day for the rest of our life. We want to be able to touch and reach everybody. So those folks,
Right.
those folks are definitely going to be needed. I'd say they're needed now. Like you said, a lot of people are not some kind of awakening. They're just going through their life. So there's just a lot of a lot of people just have worries and concerns, and history is a funny way of repeating itself. So what is happening out there now, it's more pronounced, I would say, because of the technology. We learned about it instantly. The earthquakes and the train stuff, and they talked about the government shooting down UFOs and and XY, and X, Y, and Z. So I mean, all a lot of um, a lot of eyes or a lot of eyes are on this planet right now. A lot of
Yeah,
eyes on this planet, and
yeah.
they 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 see the potential that we have, but they understand the chaos. Obviously, seriously.
And, and like you said, I mean, a lot of this stuff is like really, really old stuff that we have in our modern society. We don't think about like it's really real. I call it the syndrome of belief versus disbelief, and they both can coexist. They're not mutually exclusive. We can believe that our Most High God created all things, but yet people still believe that some things are not of the Most High. It's almost like an oxymoron, right? Oh, that's of the devil. Well, how can it be when the devil doesn't create anything and everything is made by the Most High? So we have a lot of paradoxical, I guess, theories, and people believe and buy into that, and it causes a lot of confusion and chaos. And I think that's one of the things that have us in such a disarray. We're unable to come to harmony or to unity and accept ourselves as whole or others as whole or the whole system as whole, because everything is, I believe, but I don't believe. Oh, you know what I mean? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I'll say through. I always say through chaos comes opportunity. So it's really a good time to create and to really naturally get yourself out there. Those who are fighting the renewal, they're gonna be in misery. They always say misery. Misery loves company. So a lot of those people are going to be their own company. That's why their gratitude is the negativity. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not in the growth and time. Like all things is going to pass those people by, and that's just, that's just what it is. Like I said, Lord is not going to go to heaven. A lot of those holy Christians and this and that, and people that have been going to church all their life, they're going to be very surprised when when it's all said and done. Not trying to speak anything bad in anybody's life, just saying, just saying what, just saying what it is. I mean, I've accepted my role. I've accepted my role in this, and I'm sure maybe you have too, to a certain extent or degree. And
Yeah.
I know I can't. I can only continue to I continue to move forward, with and grow in it.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I've accepted the fact that I am charged to do this work. Well, actually, I signed up to come here and do the work, you know what I mean? And now that the work has been revealed onto me and I'm in it, I don't know how far it will go and how much it will entail, but I believe that I'm going to be supported and guided along the way. So I just go along with the ride and deliver what I'm being told to deliver and do the best that you can. That's all that any of us can really do, is just do the best that you can. You know.
What did Auntie Anita Baker said? Give them the best that I got, baby. Seriously, man. But yeah, but I don't want to keep you any longer, ma'am. I just want to, if you have any like closing words, where can you find you on social media, like stuff.
I guess just back along the lines of one, if you have not subscribed to Tears and Wheat's Real Show on YouTube, please do come by and stop by. We would love to have you in the wheat field. So thank you so much. But yeah, just creation is whole, and we are all pixels and pieces of the Father that created all things, in my opinion, as revealed unto me. And to come to harmony and unity, and to use the issues of our lives to raise ourselves up as like that spiritual fuel that we kind of have to transmute so that you can ascend is what it's all about. Everybody has their own walk and everybody is in their own way. And there's a way back to the Father for every single energy and entity in the plane. And I truly believe that. And that's what gives me comfort, if that we will all get there. So
Right.
don't be so serious. It's okay.
Right. Yeah, it's all doom and gloom. It's like, oh
Yeah.
no, come on, man. This is, we this isn't Krypton. The world just blow up. You know what I mean? But I would say people out there, stand in your power, and your stand in your power. Your revelation will be revealed, and that is that God, the Most High Yahweh, did not create you down here to be afraid. To be afraid. I get it that a lot of stuff may stand in your way. You may stand in your way, but the important thing is that He will always lead you and guide you and never forsake you. And you're never alone. So don't feel like you're alone. You can always don't feel like you're a burden either. A lot of this journey, physically you might be by yourself. Again, like you said, waking up in the wee hours of the morning, and like I woke up last night and I just had all these thoughts just pouring out of my mind. I said, I gotta calm down, man. And I need to go back to sleep. But just stand in your power, stand in it with grace, and enjoy, just ride the wave, and ride the wave, ride it until the wheels fall off, because you are so much more powerful than you can ever possibly, imagine. If nobody's ever told you, Mr. Soul of a Man is telling you. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, I want to thank Ms. Wheat for joining the Soul Nation. We're gonna run it back, folks. Yeah, we're gonna run it back again. So don't worry, you will be seeing these faces. You'll be seeing these faces once again.
Yes, I gotta have you on the show. We gotta do the flip reverse, and I gotta bring you on the show. So
right,
we'll do that soon.
Yeah. So always, folks, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and comment, all of that good stuff. The sound, yeah, well, it is what it is. We have some technical issues, so it'll.
And a lot of times, I'll say it's the energy. Sometimes the energy in my space makes the mic choppy, so you will hear that throughout many of my videos. It is not my mic; it is energy. So.
Yeah, so it is what it is, folks. But anyway, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. And again, thank you so much, man, for with your amazing presence. If you want to know who I am, y'all know what it is. As always, I'm Mr. Full of Man. We're always peace.